Reverend Crystal Cox here, bbgoddesschurch@gmail.com to donate to our church. I trust you're all having a great day and focus on the positive. Focus on what you want your life to be. Okay, so we're reading the Awakener. We are on page 63, which is a summary of, well, the waves of ascension. Let's see, every moment being a choice, ascension and birth into a new dimension. So it's chapter 4 and it's a summary of that. Okay. The overall and original divine plan states that each missionaire, will attain their ascension upon completion of their mission. That is the original agreement. It will always remain so and will apply to everyone following the path of initiation. Permitted within this plan, some will have chosen this special dispensation of 3 waves to attain an early ascension. At this point, they can choose to return to Earth for the brief time it would take to complete their mission task. They may choose to return home, in which case another lightworker would need to complete their task. The 3 waves of ascension plan is an addition to the main plan. It was interjected by the hierarchy as a possibility to further assist the overall plan. Although it has since altered, it remains intact. The dispensation helps those who would like to ascend at a point earlier than completion of their mission. This option may be chosen by lightworkers wishing to complete the last stages of their mission in a more effective way. It is more likely that one would be ready for this if the desire to help was foremost and not from a desire to get out. You know, I'm sure many of you light workers have felt that. Like, gotta go down here, yeah. The light force on Earth has altered the offer of the dispensation of the 3 waves of ascension in 2 ways. Very few will now use the assistance of being lifted up by the space fleets, but will themselves directly access the waves of energy while remaining in their bodies on Earth. Because we remember, as I was talking earlier, that the ships came and they were going to just take us up to help us ascend. Yeah. Anyway, so apparently we have a choice in that. I don't consciously remember choosing or not choosing. I know there's been times where I'm like, get me out of here. And then after I noticed what many call the Mandela effect, I was like, oh, I can switch timelines. So it is more of a perfection of self. And so the ships that came to, that could just take us off planet, like if there was an Armageddon in the way that was prophesied before, or, you know, but humanity shifted consciousness 51%. We're over, you know, we're moving, you know, the light has won. And so we don't really need the ships in order to ascend with our human bodies. We're doing that now with our bodies, with all the work that we're doing to raise the vibration of ourself and Mother Earth. Currently, the 3 waves of the ascension plan are a spiritual and not a physical ascension. This may change for the 2nd and 3rd waves. Physical ascension will only occur to those who have agreed to transmute the DNA structure of the physical body. That could be those who are experienced the Mandela effect. I know my body's definitely altered. I definitely changed galaxies, bodies, the whole bit. Some have chosen the normal, old route to ascend through increasing the light of the other 3 lower bodies and allowing the physical body to die. Note, prior to the Eric Klein tapes, that's Klein, which contained information of the new plan for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd waves, these terms had been used in connection with other occurrences. The 1st wave originally meant the old souls, or the first creation, and the 2nd wave was used to define those who came later to Earth and were not old souls. Another use of the term first wave referred to the existing light force on Earth who were handing the scepters over to those who would be incarnating in the new dimensional period on Earth referred to as the second wavers. There will be a smaller population on Earth in the new millennium, as there will be a greater choice of planets available for fifth dimensional learning. In addition to Earth, other planets offering fifth dimensional learning will now be more accessible. Virtually the entire light force will be leaving, as they are no longer needed. Yeehaw! I'm out of here! Job well done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, the evacuation plan. Owing to the free will and choice of the light force, many options were originally woven into the original plan to allow for different possible outcomes. Entirely separate from the new 3 waves of ascension plan, there has always been an evacuation plan. This allowed for the possible lifting by the space fleet of the entire light force and masses of humanity to a safe zone. This was to be implemented in the event that the light force on Earth chose to create the reality that the Earth needed massive geophysical cleansing. Whilst this plan will always remain as a possible option, it has been deemed unlikely for some time now that it would ever be put to use. Because we've raised our consciousness, raised our vibration. And that of all the humans around us and Mother Earth. The photon belt. The photon belt is a large area of light energy that exists in the universe. It is composed of a combination of particles and antiparticles, such as an electron and a positron, colliding with each other. This disc-like sphere extends hundreds of light years into space, and it takes about 2,000 years for a planet to move through it. Although it contains no heat, it is a beautiful, powerful source of energy. It can affect all the molecules it comes in contact with, raising the vibrational energy. When anything with a level of vibration close to that of this environment enters it, its energy will be further refined, thus assisting its evolution. So when we raise our vibration and our frequency, we evolve the entire universe. No darkness can exist where there is photon energy, either physically or spiritually. Prior to full entry of this belt, which is still only a possibility, and again remembering this book is a couple decades old, was it 97, so yeah. There is no need to be frightened of the possibility of a few days of darkness. In the polar regions, this is experienced regularly. The divine plan allows for it. The planet Earth and the photon belt are moving gradually and gently toward each other. This event is eagerly awaited as wonderful assistance to Earth in her evolution. This information was known to the light force prior to coming to Earth, as well as to those in the higher realms. The divine plan for Earth took into account the possibility that Earth may be receiving photon energy from perhaps the 1960s, and that at some point may fully enter the photon belt. Although the timing was and is still unknown, it was conceivable that this would occur not long before the year 2011. As anticipated, the photon energy did begin reaching Earth in the early 1960s and assisted the hippie movement focus on love and peace. The mission plan is to increase the level of light on Earth and to raise human consciousness and vibration by the end of this decade. This ensures that Earth's population would gently move with her and be ready as she completed her last movement into full light. Okay, so now we're 20 years past that, right? So we did move into the light. So the light is one. We only needed like 51% or whatever to raise the consciousness of that. And so, right, so, and that was the mission plan. And so it started, so when it says 2011, the changeover at 2012, from what I understand, we weren't ready. Humanity wasn't ready, so, but the shift happened anyway, so we moved, and what we're going through now is the best case scenario with the coronavirus stuff and all the politics stuff and everything that's going on, to let go of the old ways of work, let go of the old ways of grocery stores and health and children's schooling, to let go of all of that. What's happening now is the best way to do that, to prepare humanity for this next level. And so to not fragment the consciousness, so we can move with more consciousness intact. you know, kind of like keeping the operating system intact, and we kind of moved. So there was movement in 2012, but we weren't as ready as had planned. Anyway, God has blessed you. I love you. Have a beautiful day. And stay tuned for more.